In an isolated part of the world, there stands a tower. This tower houses the unholy monstrosities of the world. All those that stand as an affront to the church. In one cell, the guards prepare to brand a prisoner. 2 men hold him down, while the third readies the branding iron. An A for Abomination. He brings it up to the prisoner's face and presses down. As flesh burns on the metal, the prisoner is no longer able to contain the beast within. The man with the branding iron runs away, looking for reinforcements. His fellow guards aren't so lucky. One slams into the wall, while the other struggles to escape. They made the fatal mistake of awakening the beast. Reinforcements arrive, but they are too late. The slaughter has begun. Who or what is this creature? Well, that answer's easy. This is Bigby, the Abomination. The real question, and the more complicated one, is who was Bigby? That answer is a bit more difficult to explain. So I had to bust out my timeline maker again. Only 2 this time. Seems fitting given his split personalities. Full disclosure, many of these quotes will be taken from his irrational dialogue, so take them with a grain of salt. But even so, it seems suspicious that he keeps mentioning certain concepts. Mention it once can be written off. Mention it twice is a coincidence. Mentioning something 3 times, there's an underlying reason. Before the curse turned him into an abomination, Bigby may have actually been a follower of the light and the flame. He would visit the monastery with his family, until he became of age to join their ranks as a student. During this time, he acquired an education, becoming a man of letters, learning all he could about the world. History, astrology, a bit of anatomy, but his main field of study was alchemy. His knowledge would prove useful, as he would be sent to court to serve the king. Perhaps as the king's personal alchemist, or maybe a steward or clergyman. The church and the crown maintain a close relationship, and it would be a great honor to act in the name of the king. In his spare time, he would continue his studies, experimenting and combining his knowledge in various fields to further elevate his craft. What he was hoping to achieve with these experiments isn't known. Could have been enlightenment, wealth, immortality, the typical human desires. But something went horribly wrong. An experiment afflicted him with lycanthropy, turning him into a monster, an abomination of human and eldritch blood. The monster would rampage until he was able to subdue the beast within. The king knew he needed to be contained, so Bigby was handed over to a group known as the Order, an extremist branch of the church that specializes in combating the evil and vile monsters of the world. We may have even encountered one of their more fanatic members in the estate. They brand their victims so that they cannot hide from the world. The Order isn't known for their progressive thinking. They locked Bigby away, torturing him, under the delusion that the bloodletting preferred by the church would somehow cure his condition. Decades later, and without any progress, Bigby came to the conclusion there was no saving him from this curse. Feeling betrayed by both the church and his king, he gave up hope of freedom until the night of his branding. The events play out as before, and he escapes into the world, clawing back his freedom from the church he once believed in. This follows a similar timeline as before, but with one significant change. Maybe the ties to the crown are deeper than a position at court. What if Bigby is part of the royal family? He could be the son of a king, or maybe the brother to the king. In his youth, he favored more scholarly pursuits, and he was sent to the monastery, a collection of the greatest minds and scrolls in the world. It was here he would spend his days learning about anatomy, astrology, history, and of course, alchemy. He returned to his family a scholar, and then he was promoted to a position in court, handling the affairs of the king. While proficient at his occupation, his true passion of alchemy was ever present in his mind. He continued to experiment, and an accident led to him becoming afflicted with lycanthropy. After his rampage and containment, his family couldn't allow him to roam freely, so they handed him over to the Order. The Order, being part of the church, and believing that this sin needed to be beaten out of him, tortured him. So much time had passed that his own family forgot about him. They never even visited. Locked away in the tower until he decided to escape, giving in to the beast and slaughtering the guards. Personally, I prefer this version of the story. It adds another layer of tragedy to his character. Betrayed by his family, locked away out of fear and shame. Plus, it gives us a reason as to why he was never outright killed. He is still a member of the royal family. Our timelines reconcile after his escape from the tower. At this point, it doesn't matter the details of his former life. His new life was a abomination, on the run, trying to hide from the world, to protect them from himself. It was a struggle. Not only was the Order looking for him, the beast inside of him had urges, a need to consume and feast on the flesh of others. It's implied that the beast is slowly taking over, and that at some point, the transformation will be permanent. He is already unable to control himself under a gibbous moon. However, Bigby was able to gain some control over the beast. Through meditation and an iron will, he learned how to turn into the beast on command and maintain a semblance of control. In this form, Bigby's speed and strength increase, fighting with claw, tooth, and skull, ripping through his enemies with blinding speed. Even in his human form, he is still a capable fighter, using the bile produced by his beast blood as a poison, and his shackles as a whip. He can even reach out to the power of the light to heal himself. Why he came to the estate is a combination of reasons. He is seeking a redemption by battling the creatures of this place, a form of penance for his sins, and the estate is a faraway place where he can hide from the Order. By now, he understands that he cannot be cured. He must learn to live with his condition, to master it. And if he should die, it should be on his own terms, as a free man. Struggling against inner demons is a common theme in the hamlet. For one man, it's more literal than intended. He has devoted his life to studying the occult and mystic arts. And now, he may be consumed by the very thing he sought to understand.